这么严重，
我们还聚在一起打牌，
希
望大家引以为戒，少出门不聚集，勤洗手戴口罩，坚决响应政府号召，早日打赢这场战役。
我晒衣服。我晒衣服。
我来，我让我追，我来，我追就是我这儿，我要说的菜我拿去哪里啊？没的，这他来的很的，那个专家家伙吧，戴口罩，我这。经济大选，这个我把他来了啊，师傅，看经济的事，他来了，干不了了，这个。
莫教的，
这个，我送他，今年莫教，是吧？再先把个手拿一些金钱的事，今年，我这帮靠啥的了，师傅？你看今天已经断了，干不了了，今年，把毛这喇叭搞成光。
他在深圳一家工厂做临时工，辞工后来到了三河人才市场一带，准备找工作。本来住的是一天一节的小旅馆，没成想刚过完年，他就因为是湖北籍贯被赶了出来。
从那边34号，就这个月的34号就反正被赶出来，然后就一直到现在是打街啊，就打地铺。
有被子吗？
我就个毯子。
有类似遭遇的还有来自湖北黄冈的周先生，他的口罩已经戴了1个星期没有换，白色口罩都已经变成了灰色的。
我看你那个口罩也是戴了好久了吧？
戴了1个星期了。
1个星期了。
除了没地儿住宿，想找到工作也是难上加难。
我们快递啊，也有做保安的，人家都不要湖北的，那这肯定委屈了。而且有些人说难听的要死，病就是从你们那里出来的。你没机会了，就是歧视的眼光对着我们这些人嘛。你可以说在大街上就随便问，最起码10个，最起码有6到7个是湖北的。
这位周先生的老家在湖北孝感，之前在保税区工作，春节前辞工后打算回老家发展，买好了年初2的机票，却因为武汉封城，行程被耽搁了下来。
因为我老乡说这边的生活比较便宜嘛，消费比较低，我就来这边。然后当天晚上我记得很清楚。这条街旅馆找了一遍，那条街旅馆找了一遍，不让住，因为我身份证一掏，湖北孝感的，对不起，不要湖北的，就这样子。然后我就睡在那个前面有那个广场嘛，很大一个广场，当时也看到很多人在那睡觉，睡了2天，第1天手机不见了嘛，第2天因为我换衣服也不见了，因为身份证装在衣服里面，衣服也丢了，身份证也丢了，下面身上都什么都没有了。
打牌、戴口罩、勤洗手。配合政府战胜疫情。
回国时，我叫杨彩英，杨桥前面应付之前，政府禁令在小区门口卖菜，被公安机关发话，我的错误行为影响了疫情的防控，及社会听了难， 及身边的人听了危害。我保证下不为例，以后应该遵守禁令，不出门，老老实实待在家，戴口罩，勤洗手，配合政府战胜疫情。
吴德生，男，47岁，因不执行政府禁令，在城市旺角台门店被执勤民警查到。我的错误行为影响了疫情防控，给社会添了麻，给身边的人添了危险。我保证下不为例，以后应该遵守禁令，配合政府战胜疫情。
执行政府禁令，在最小的地方违法经营家庭超市，被公安机关处罚。我的错误行为影响了疫情防控，给社会添了难，给身边的人添了危险。我保证下不为例，以后应该遵守禁令，不出门，不聚会，不聚餐，不扎堆聊天，不聚众打牌，戴口罩，勤洗手，配合政府战胜疫情。
我叫陈友恒，雅虎村人，
因不执行政府禁令，
未戴
口罩，
随
意出行，
谁打的？
被公安机关行政当场处罚。我的错误行为影响了疫情防控，给社会添了难，给身边的人添了危险。我保证下不为例，以后应该遵守禁令，不出门。
加大传播真相的力度，我们要拯救在水深火热的湖北的武汉的同胞们，我们要再把国内的所有有关疫情的真实声音发到国际上来，做好准备，没有共产党的新中国的以后什么样？
我没有啊。
是录起来？
我没有啊。
那是你把它？
我没录起啊。
你录起老子是他妈整个狗子的。
我没录起啊。我没录起啊。
有没有？
我手机只是在导航而已啊，你看嘛。
你妈妈，今天再次录起老子整个狗子的，你信不信？你今天再次录起老子整个狗子的，你信不信？你录哪样手机玩的？
我没录啊。
这个啥的事情，他拍出来都是他妈整个狗子的，录起，哪叫录起？这个是买哈数的，这录起。非常时期给不晓得，非常时期给不晓得病毒。
我晓得非常时期。
那晓得病毒你录了吗？
前不急。
你录了？
我是在我们那个地方，我是开了体检证明的。
哪叫证明？啥叫证明？
找到疫苗了。林医生，现在血氧上来了，血氧上来了，51的血氧上来了。
现在一个现在也有。
84。
还是睡不着。
好了，现在一直在上升，都是有希望的。161，来，待会再找161吧，先找好一个先。看看血压多少吧，很好。
老人了，看，还有这人排的，你看，操他妈，后边好几趟街呢，所有农民工、旅社的宾馆全清出来，全给撵走。
一直看到卖到弄空了，你和老子在过电视了卖到弄啊！我说老子卖光了，谁没比冇得你和老子？你妈老子买个小豆子和你买刀子，我日都气的你妈个逼空空无也。
加大传播真相的力度。我们要拯救在水深火热的湖北的武汉的同胞们，我们要再把国内的所有有关疫情的真实声音发到国际上来，做好准备，没有共产党的新中国的以后什么样？
4省使用中药复方清肺排毒汤治疗新冠肺炎的临床疗效进行观察。在这351例患者中，所有的轻型、普通型患者没有1例转为重型或危重。
夹着。我马回来。你要回来，你拍着单15天才去。快2个，对啊，比你刚弄那个。我一个10年回来。这啥东西？你在提刀？这啥东西？
是晚上12点40，殡仪馆的焚烧炉里边的声音。他们确实是在昼夜工作的，但是门口车很少，具体的数量不太清楚。
有些习俗没有？你说服不服？服？不服啊？服啊！不服！挂什么啊？不服！挂什么？
The Australian government is still waiting for clearance from the Japanese government, but when they get it, this Qantas jet will be going straight to Darwin either very late tomorrow or very early on Thursday morning. Now, we are seeing some work needing to be done, given that Italy, Canada, the United Kingdom and also Canada as well are trying to get their people off this ship. Now, unless these people do come down with the illness, Kate, all 200 Australians left on board will be coming home.
Good news. Chris, thank you for the update. And back home, Chinatown traders say business has halved since the deadly coronavirus outbreak. Business owners say customers are too fearful to visit the precinct and they're struggling to cope with the massive downturn in trade. They say the Market Plaza food court is usually packed around lunchtime, but for the last month, the number of customers has drastically reduced.
Let me make just one other point. Yesterday I was in Box Hill. And there's a lot of information that people are getting at home, Chinese Australians living in Australia. And they can have every confidence, if you're a Chinese Australian living in Australia, unless you've been in mainland China in the last 14 days and you're subject to that self-isolation, you should feel free to move around. You don't need to stay at home. You can go to those wonderful restaurants out there in Box Hill. You can go and participate in the community. You don't need to stay home. I'm raising that with you because that's what was raised directly with me when I was out there yesterday. There seemed to be some misunderstanding about that. Unless you're subject to self-isolation because you've been in mainland China for the last 14 days, then you should feel free to move around because Australia has been successfully containing the coronavirus to date.
Experts around the world are trying to find an effective way to combat the virus. One method that has shown some promise is a drug used to treat HIV. A leading Japanese researcher says that he hopes it will be approved for broader use as soon as possible. Dr. Norio Omagari says the drug is currently being used on a trial basis at medical institutions in many countries.
Some of our patients who used the drugs recovered, but some are still struggling with the illness. We need to continue analyzing patient data to gauge whether the drugs are effective.
He added that the drug has been effective in treating other viruses like SARS in the past. He says clinical trials are necessary to confirm its effectiveness and safety, but that it won't take long as the medication has already been approved to treat HIV.
one of the things that actually helped the market was a report out from Morning Consult that 61% of Americans felt that the U.S. government was doing the right thing in the way they've been handling this coronavirus. Only 23% did not. Contrasting that with the Ebola virus, where 62% thought the government mishandled that. Are you happy with the way the government's handled this, the way the CDC has handled everything?
Charles, I've been following contagious outbreaks, as you know, for 15 or more years. I can't believe how well they're handling this. The proof is in the pudding. We have 15 people in the United States with it. That's it. No one has died. The case in Washington got a experimental drug recovered. I mean, the travel advisories and restrictions, so far, everything is working. CDC has a very patented plan. Isolate people, identify the problem, and look at contacts of everyone that's been in contact with a person that gets coronavirus. This is working so far. Our biggest problem is the burgeoning number of cases in China.
What about outside of China? For instance, early on, Singapore got high marks for its transparency, but now some people toward the end of the week were concerned. And we don't have travel restrictions with other countries, so perhaps someone left the Wuhan area or other areas with large high risk, went to their home country and then come from their home country to this country. Are you concerned about that at all?
That's a very important point, Charles, and I am concerned about that. There's 3 million travelers from China to Singapore every year, as you say. We don't know for sure if we're getting the right numbers. North Korea says they have 0 cases. Nobody believes that. They share a border with China. So I think that the idea of getting really... Look, a virus does not obey political separation. It's an international problem from the get-go here, and it has to be treated like that. It's one of the reasons we want to get CDC boots on the ground in China.
Right. Doc Siegel, thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Charles.
All right.
I think the country, the government has woken up to the fact of just how serious the threat is, the threat from China. And before it was kind of, we were looking at it as one-off instances. It was kind of amusing at the time, and nobody really connected the dots. And I think what you've seen now is a groundswell. The government is all in on this China threat, and recently has come in all in on it. And they realize now that it must be a whole-of-nation approach, just as the Chinese Communist Party has a whole-nation approach against the United States and all of our Western allies. So you've seen a swing, a shift over to a whole-of-nation approach, which now includes not just the government, but the private sector, which includes both business and academia.
You almost make it sound like we're at war here, but we're not, right?
It depends on who you ask. If you ask the Chinese Communist Party, they are in absolute war with us. And consistently, they have said they are at war with the United States. And it's a life and death war. To them, it's a life and death war. To the United States, we're not used to that. We're not used to what war is. In the United States, Americans, and even our Western allies, war is you're either in war in a bloody battle with uniforms, tanks, planes, and generals, or you're not. And our adversaries have waged what they call an asymmetric war, an asymmetric hybrid war against us. And that's everything short of conventional war that we're aware of. So I think the first thing everybody needs to understand is the war that is being waged and has been waged on the United States and the West has incidentally been around for 34 years, even longer than that, since the start of the Communist Party in China, which was 1949. But in 1986, they came out with a nation-state directive called Program 863, and that's after 1986, month number 3. Which I'll give you my layman's terms, will basically lie, cheat, and steal to global dominance. So that's the war. And so we all have to understand that they have waged war on us. We have not waged war on them as a conventional war, but the war that's being fought is something that we're not used to. We're not used to this whole hybrid warfare thing, which is everything asymmetrically from all sides. So an asymmetrically is basically attacking from all angles, all sides, to weaken the United States and to take over the United States. That's really what the end game strategy is. They want to defeat capitalism. They want to completely defeat democracy and turn the world into their own order. So we have to understand what the war is, what the fight is, And that's what the whole thing is around asymmetric different directions, hybrid warfare. Now, what's hybrid warfare? Hybrid warfare is achieving military gains through non-military methods. That's what hybrid warfare is. So remember asymmetric, remember hybrid, and then warfare. We don't like the word war in the United States because that means, very nasty things. So what this is a challenge. It's the bigger name is called great power competition.
Okay.
About every 70 years, if you look at history, about every 70 years, a nation or couple of nations come up and say, we want to challenge the world order. That's called great power competition. Today, in our time, in current day, that is, of course, China, Russia, and they've got friends by the name of Iran and North Korea. So they're all allianced together, allied together, and they're all communist. And the other thing is, when we talk about China, some people regard China as another democracy, and that's not the case. China is a clear, serious, oppressive, authoritarian dictatorship communist country. So there aren't two Chinas. There's one China, and it's a communist-driven country with a command and control with a straight line through the country. So we have to understand that as Americans and our Western allies. We have to understand that, and if we're doing business in China, whether we put a plant, a laboratory, a development center, we're selling into China, we're buying Chinese products, we're partnering with the Chinese Communist Party, and that's absolutely the truth if anybody does any type of research or studies into what this is. So it is what it is. And what's refreshing is our government. And I met with senior leaders yesterday of our government, and they underscore the seriousness of this. It's an existential threat to the United States because the Chinese Communist Party wants to, weaken us through our economy, which is where our strength is. Our strength is through our economy, and they want to weaken that by stealing the technology and so on. Another point, you have to understand what our adversary is all about. Our adversary is all about live versus die. In other words, their philosophy is we must live, but you must die. So when we compete, we have to win. In other words, we live, you must die, so you can never compete again.
That in Chernobyl, and particularly if you watch the HBO series, was pretty accurate. At least Putin doesn't think so, but people in the West do. The key to the Chernobyl thing is that the apparatus, the official centralized decision making, it was about not just their incompetence, not just their first ability is to cover everything up, to keep information themselves, but it's what they didn't know what they didn't know. That the scale of the event was so big, they didn't actually understand it. That seems to be the situation here. She sent Vice Premier Sun down there. She's the woman that's kind of like the Khrushchev at Stalingrad. She goes in and says, hey, we're not backing up an inch. In fact, she said, this is what quarantine means to me. Quarantine means to me that we're going to go door to door. It's a city the size of New York. We're going to go door to door. We're not going to. We're going to take your temperature. If we deem that you're sick, we deem you're coming with us, and that's where we got all these videos of people being dragged out of their apartments. You're going to a quarantine center where you go in and you leave by ambulance to be cremated later. You're not, there's no way that you're not there. It's not a hospital. And if you don't go, they said patriots do that, and traitors will be nailed to the cross of history, or however they described it. But they're nailing people in, they're shutting people into the doors. They're not playing around. They understand they've got a massive problem. Forget how it was covered up, all that. That'll all come out in time. But right now, they have an operating problem that is just expanding exponentially.
See, the larger point is many people in high government are not domain experts. I mean, they lack expertise in systems biology, in mathematical statistics, in information engineering, bioinformatics. These are highly complex technical fields which requires domain experts. And we in America have them. India has them. China has them too. But the Chinese Communist Party, like you said, in a combination of face saving and a combination of self-preservation, is preventing them from reaching out to the outside world, including organizations such as the CDC and other experts in America, to deliver help to their people.
Why are they stopping that? President Trump has now offered 3 times to send the CDC, been rebuffed every time. Why do they not want people like the CDC? Why do they not want the CDC actually to not just go to Beijing, but to go down to Wuhan?
The answer again, Steve, is the problem is far, far worse than they let on to. And if American experts come on the ground and discover that the number of cases is understated according to official statistics, and the true numbers are, say, of infected are 3 million, 5 million, 10 million. I don't know what the number, it's in the millions for sure.
Why do you say it's in the millions for sure? Just as you've seen.
Again, exponential functions. I mean, you've had, since the Chinese Lunar New Year, that was in middle of January, 3rd week of January.
Yeah, around the 18th to 19th, 20th.
Yeah, in a month. And we have doubling of cases every 6 days. So the math is simple. I mean, if you're willing to look at it directly in the face. So if American experts and other international experts come on the ground in China and discover and report to the world the seriousness of the infection, I mean, it would cause a worldwide panic.
同时，我告诉大家，我说过，2月29啊，2月29，战友们要记住，2月29。 啊，我别搞，上次我口误，有人说3月29，2月29，啊，也就是说几天后，是整个武汉疫情最大的分水岭。千万记住，我求求所有的战友们和国内的能听到这个直播的人，包括战友能传播这个直播的战友们，告诉家人切不可大意，绝对不能放松。 灾难的时刻根本没有到来。分水岭是在29号后，2月29号，2月29号，2月29号，我说3遍。所有战友们告诉家人，切不可掉以轻心。啊，不要相信共产党任何一句话。中国不要说死几百万人，死个几千万人、1亿人，共产党都是不在乎的。 千万不要让家人的无知送上全部的性命，不要走出家门，不要出去，在安全的、绝对安全的情况下啊，不被共产党伤害，不被疫情传染的情况下，再备好粮食、备好药、备好口罩，或者转移到深山老林去，做一个几个月的打算。请战友们一定要记住，告诉家人和朋友，战友们。 一定要收住，要搂住，灾难并没到来。分水岭是2月29号，春节的时候，4周前我就说过，2月29，2月29，千万不可掉以轻心。